Hi, I'm Pastor Chris at Full Gospel Assembly Melbourne, and I'm so thrilled to be introducing you to this series on Jesus, God with Us, where we look at the book of Matthew. You know, I'm hoping through this series that actually you'll take some time and you'll read through the book of Matthew. It's a pretty epic book. You're talking about a historical document that has been passed through the ages, translated and copied so that we can get it today, even in its original form. So it's a real privilege to be able to read this. But I think as well, it's not just a historic document. It's a document that, as part of the Bible, has shaped our world today. So whether you are a Christian or not a Christian, you're actually taking time to read one of the most epic, most significant books in our world history at the moment. So can I encourage you, as we begin this series, that in your home group that you would commit to read the book of Matthew. Today, we do the first session, which is Jesus is Immanuel. Immanuel means God with us. We kick off actually the book of Matthew with Matthew 1 verse 1, which many scholars say could even be the summary of the whole Bible in one verse. It takes us, it's a summary of the Old Testament in one verse. So it takes us from the beginning where it says the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ. The Greek for the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ means the book of Genesis of Jesus Christ. And so it ties us back to Adam and Genesis, and it goes the son of David, the son of Abraham. So here we have Adam, Abraham, David, Jesus. And so very quickly, Matthew gets you up to speed. And then he goes person in the genealogy as he kicks off Matthew. Why does he do that? Because he's talking to people who knew who these real life people were. He's grounding this book in our actual reality. We're not talking about some fantasy world set in a galaxy far, far away, right? We're talking about a real account by a real historical person who is now citing other people who lived. Our key verse for this session is in Matthew 1, 21 to 23. And so if you'll read it with me, it says this: "She will bear a son," which is the angel prophesying to Mary. "She will bear a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins." And then if you read on, his name becomes Immanuel, God with us. In each of the sessions, we're going to go through basically a who, what, why, where, when, and how around Jesus. Okay? And as we kick off the first session, we're going to ask the question, who? Who is this Jesus? It's a big mystery as this book begins. In this verse that we read, you hear of the prophecy of the virgin birth. And first up, I want to address, I think, what is probably the biggest problem that modern day Christians, scientifically intelligent Christians have with the Jesus story, right? They go, a lot of them, when I talk to people, they go, who would believe that Jesus was born of a virgin? You know, what if Mary just made the whole thing up and so Jesus was just like a regular person and making up this story about angels and God is born here with us. Why would we believe that? And I want to put it to you that actually no one really believed it. When this prophecy was given, when Jesus was born of a virgin, this was not the announcement of Jesus, him coming in, even John the Baptist that you'll read, right? They were not the events that kicked Christianity off. It wasn't. Nobody, I'm sure heaps of people said they were born of virgins. Like, oh my goodness. I'll tell you what kicked Christianity off. It was the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It was the resurrection of Jesus Christ. In 1 Corinthians 15, 3 to 19, we basically hear Paul explain the gospel, right? And he says that there were many, many witnesses to Jesus Christ alive from the dead. If you see a dead man walking, someone you saw rotting on a cross, dying in front of you, and it says hundreds of people saw him, right? It would change your life. It really would. Then you're not resting on something that some virgin said that they didn't have sex before, or whatever it is. You're literally seeing a dead man walking. And so 1 Corinthians 15 to 14 says, if Christ has not been raised, then our preaching is in vain and our faith is in vain. So what you need to understand as we enter into the book of Matthew is that the resurrection of Jesus Christ was so transformational. It shocked so many people. It kicked off a revolution that everything that the Old Testament said, everything that Jesus did, everything that he said, oh my goodness, it was true. And so then they went back and started writing these accounts, which included the announcement of the virgin birth, which included the fulfillment of all these prophecies, which included the life and words of Jesus. And that's how we got our Bible today. So make no mistake, when we begin the book of Matthew, the things that are contained in it, they're written and recorded for us today because of the dramatic impact that Jesus Christ had. It was full of mystery at this point, but it would be revealed to the end, and we would see in our day the transformation that Jesus would bring. And so it would be true that she would bear a son, and that she would call his name Jesus, and he would indeed save his people from their sins. Who is this Jesus? I'm hoping you'll have a good discussion today. We are reading from Matthew 1:1 all the way to Matthew 4, verse 17. God bless.